Hello everyone, it's I, Pwnsalot, and we are on our Rune Fencer today. Today I have a very special video for you guys that I put together after having looked at some YouTube comments requesting such a video, and I thought, what better place than Altepa Desert to do some sort of YouTube video. So what we have here today is a list of items that we're going to discuss, as seen on the left, and a pretty babe on the right, which I just was looking for Rune Fencers and Rune Fencer chicks, and I found that one. Also this one. So we'll be showing those as well. So basically, this video is gonna look at a lot of equip sets for Rune Fencer. If you watched my previous videos, you would have probably seen me fighting on these videos as Rune Fencer. I'm gonna go to this tornado because that looks exciting. So in the Rune Fencer video, I was fighting on Rune Fencer, and people were asking, well, what are you wearing, blah blah blah. Let me start by saying I really am missing a lot of Rune Fencer gear. I don't have all of the Rune Fencer gear in the game, and I'm not a main Rune Fencer either, but I do have a lot of things done on Rune Fencer, and I have gotten to the point where the job is completely playable in mostly every content that I could imagine bringing a Rune Fencer to. Oh, hi. How's it going, Cactrout Rapido? He just like popped out of the ground, didn't he? Just now, literally, right there. That's interesting. Okay, so getting back on topic, so there's a list on the screen of all of the equip sets that I'm currently using on Gear Swap. Of course, they are all subject to change. They are quite simple to build, and we'll actually get started from top to bottom. So, let me just get that note off the screen so you can see the whole screen. And without further ado, we are in a zone, currently in an idle set. So if I were to equip this set, GS equip sets after cast idle. You see there's no change. So this is currently what I'm using right now. Okay, great. Alright, so what does that mean? Basically the idle set, if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know this is probably going to be a 30-minute video or so, because I'm going to go over all these sets, probably 16 of them. The idle set's going to have regen, refresh, and tank stuff on it, high HP as a baseline, and things of that nature. So I've got the Scowy Boots for high HP, I've got some high HP in some other slots, so pretty much you get the idea, right? Wherever you can put HP, you put HP. If you have regen and refresh, you want to do that. Now the Meganata +2 actually has some regen on it. Enhances regen effect, and it stacks as well. I think it's like +2 or +3 per extra piece you have. But who doesn't want to have a Mecha Sachine harness with the sphere refresh +1? This means everyone in my area has one extra refresh tick because of my gear that I have on. So I like having that in that slot. Otherwise I would indeed actually be wearing the +2 Curie for the extra regen. But I just like the sphere effect too much, you guys. So I'm just gonna go with the sphere effect, and that's basically the idle set right there. So let's look at some other sets. If I'm in town, most of the gear you wear in town doesn't really matter, but a couple of things might be relevant. You're probably going to want to have some sort of movement speed on your town set to get around, so I have the Kusses +1 here. That's basically standard for all the jobs that can wear it. And then, of course, the rings to actually warp to your home point or to a neighboring Risenjima entry point where you'll do a lot of your in-game content. So those places would be where you would want to go from town, so idling in those rings is not a bad idea. And then everything else is just pretty much a show-off piece. It doesn't really matter what it is. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I don't think I actually changed all of the pieces of gear on this list when I switched to my town set. Tornado is really going, isn't it, guys? Okay, so other sets that we're going to look at, these are the important ones. We're going to look at the Engage set. Engage set. Okay, so we're basically putting quad attack in the places that we can afford quad attack, accuracy in the other places, damage taken minus since we are a tank. Feel like that's not the whole set. Maybe I'll actually engage this target and see what happens. Okay, I guess it is. Alright, so you could use this for the accuracy buff. I think that's why I recently changed this from this slot to a Carmen while I was engaged, because obviously I don't really need the movement speed, but the accuracy is huge on this +1, so that's probably why I'm using it. The dual wield obviously doesn't help me, but it doesn't matter. For the most part, everything is going to have some form of accuracy or store TP on it, and that's going to be your engage set. It doesn't change from job to job. Everyone deals damage and gains TP very similarly, so you're going to want accuracy, multi-hit, and store TP, and that's basically what we have here. So that's the engage set. So if I were to switch, let's say that I'm really low on HP and I want to tank more damage and take less HP loss, I would use a tank set instead. This would be essentially taking away from my ability to swing my Lionheart around, which is a really good sword, so swinging it around is really important. So I very rarely would put this set on, and if I do put this set on, it's going to be for a very short period of time. Now before we go much farther, you guys might have already noticed, I don't have any JSE gear for Rune Fencer. There are 15 reforged pieces you could make. I have 0 of them. I don't think that they are necessary, but there are a handful of them, maybe like 5 or 6, that actually do help you with your job abilities, so you would macro them in for the job ability that you're going to use. So if I continue to play Rune Fencer and I actually develop these artifact reforged pieces, then I will actually include them in a future video, but for now, just know that you do have reforged artifact armor, Empyrean armor, and relic armor that actually augment your job abilities that you are doing. But that said, you could pretty much, once you have Lionheart, you could pretty much not play Rune Fencer anymore. You could literally engage with your Rune Fencer, swing the Lionheart until you have 1000 TP, and use your TP move. That could literally be the entire battle. You really don't have to do anything else. Just swing the sword, use the TP move. Swing the sword, you get the idea. So for me, I might not ever build any Artifact Empyrean or Relic Reforged equipment, but you can do that, and I would encourage you to do it. But it's not for me. I play so many jobs that don't have the inventory space for this shenanigans, okay? So basically, the tank set, getting back on track, this is going to have store TP where I can. Damage taken is a plus since it is a tank set, so having both of those on the same piece is really good. Store TP 5 and damage taken -2, really good. Enmity plus where I can put it. So in this case, on the neck, I have it. Some accuracy where I can put it. Store TP and accuracy, really good. Tank stuff. You got some more tank stuff. HP on the ring, really nice. And then some tank stuff. Everything is going to be some form of tank. And then followed up by accuracy, store TP, Enmity, and HP. And not any particular order. Just whatever you have that's best, that looks juicy. And that's going to be your whole set. That's basically it. You might have also noticed I don't have an ambuscade cape. I use the skirmish cape, or what? I don't know what kind of cape this is. Some kind of cape. It's a Reeve cape. You get it from Reeves. So there you go, and that's what I'm using, and it's got some pretty legit augments on it, so I'm okay for now just using this one, and that'll be it. So let's move out of the tank set, shall we? Let's go and do an actual HP set. This is a nice set, guys. I've been working on this up to recently, so it's real up to speed on all of the meta gear. So let's go ahead and equip it. Here we go. And so we have mostly HP gear in every slot. Here we are with some HP, and some HP, and some HP, and some HP. And then on this row we have more HP, even more HP, and more HP, plus a regen tick, because why not? And more HP, more HP, 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 no HP here. So we probably would, we would want to equip the Egoist Halfling, you guys, but there's a problem. Do you see the problem? Rune Fencer can't equip the Ego as Dathlum. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but I am salty about it. So we'll go to another slot. HP. And of course, might as well be HP on that too, because it's got everything else, right? So that's the HP set, guys. Obviously, you can change yours to a whole bunch of different things, but this is what I've got put together, and it's got a lot of HP on it. Puts me over 3,000, that's not bad. So that is what we have. And of course, you can't use the Sovereign set that Paladin can use, so you don't get all that extra juicy HP. I would imagine, though, guys, that if you do the Omen +3 stuff, then you'll probably have enough HP, extra HP on this +3 gear to actually get closer to 4,000 HP on Rune Fencer. So if you really, really want that HP, you could always consider doing that. That is an option for you. Building that Omen Reforged stuff. That's a lot of farming, guys. A lot of farming. Alright, so we're going to go and check out another set now. Basically, I've got, in my Lua file, I actually have everything with an engage tag as well. So you'll notice that this slightly changes only by putting on a damage taken minus piece when I'm engaged. When I'm not engaged, I'm not taking any hits usually, so I don't need that there, but if I am engaged, I'm going to be taking hits, so I'll make that little swap there. But some of my Lua will actually have certain pieces of gear swapped out, and it's a completely different set technically, because 1 or 2 pieces will change, but really that's all it is 1 or 2 pieces, so you could just simply macro that. You really don't even need a Lua for that. You don't need a Lua for anything, but we're using it in this video to actually get all of these equipped sets put together and executed quite nicely, so that's what we will do. Moving down the list, we're going to go to my Enmity set now. Everything on this next set is going to have Enmity stuff on it, and again, I don't have everything for this job, but I have a good amount, so I will show the Enmity set. So we have the Sapient's Orb in this slot, all jobs, very nice. We have the Moonbeam Necklace for the jobs that can use it. The Enmity +10 is really good. There's another torque that you can use. I think that it's all jobs as well. Let me find it really quick. Unmoving. Yes, Enmity +10 on the Unmoving. But you don't get the Magic Evasion. So, Magic Evasion's really good. That basically says the same thing as the Staunch Tathlum says, where it says resistance to all status ailments +10. That's exactly the same thing as Magic Evasion, more or less. So, consider that. You can resist Charm, all sorts of stuff. Instead of just this one piece that literally only has resist Charm on it, you could resist Blind, you could resist Slow, you could resist everything +10, not even +9. So, that's why I use Moonbeam Necklace, that's why it's a superior item, but not for every situation, so keep that in mind. Yep, so the rest of this stuff's gonna have Enmity on it, if I do have Enmity in that slot, but again, not everything has Enmity on it, and only a few pieces of gear are probably being swapped in for the Enmity set here, so you will see some stuff that doesn't look like it fits, like this Rawhide mask. It's not an Enmity piece, but the choices I do have for Enmity are pretty nice. They are pretty nice. Got the belt here, the ring here, necklace, and ammo slot here. And that's probably all the Enmity pieces that I use, so you could indeed find more. This actually has Enmity minus on it, so I would probably not want to have that equipped while I'm actually trying to tank. But I only blink in and out of the Enmity set when I use abilities, so if I were to do let me do a Lux really quick. So I'm generating Enmity when I do this. So maybe that's a bad example. I don't know. Some of my job abilities will use the Enmity list. Some of them will not. I wish I knew which ones did. It's been a while since I looked at it. Probably Swordplay. Probably a few of these. But you get the idea. Like anything that you would want to have an Enmity gain on, you would put your Enmity gear on and make an Enmity set. Then you could just use that set to equip whenever you're actually trying to gain Enmity, and you will get that extra hate spike that you need to continue tanking. It's really important to have an Enmity set on a tank job. Even if you have an Aeonic like I do, it doesn't help you stay glued to the mob forever indefinitely. Hate resets still do happen, and you still probably would want to have some sort of hate spike that is in your favor, so having the Enmity gear is actually really good for you. So definitely encourage everyone to build that set, at least, if not that one and the HP and the TP and probably everything else that I'm showing you today, and improve on them, because again, I don't have all the good gear for Rune Fencer. I have a lot of good gear for Rune Fencer, but not everything. So just know that you can be a better Rune Fencer than me, for sure. Right? So we're going to keep going down this list. Let's take a look at the next set to talk about, which will be probably some weapon skill sets, it looks like. So let's just say that there are a lot of weapon skills in the game for Rune Fencer to have access to. Each of them has a different modification to the damage output on the weapon skill, but a lot of them have a lot of things in common. So I will show you my commonplace set. Don't hate. I did copy and paste from my Paladin Lua. I will put on my Savage Blade set, and then make tweaks. So this is basically a copy paste that I did, where I took the weapon skill from another Lua file that I made, and I added it to a Rune Fencer Lua file, and I just tweaked it to actually be a weapon skill template. So basically all we have is weapon skill damage stuff that we can put on. Obviously Paladin can't wear any of this stuff, right? So it's not really a Savage Blade template, but yeah, you get the idea. Actually, I probably copied that one from my Corsair, because a lot of the same gear on Savage Blade for Corsair is going to be the same for a similar weapon skill on Rune Fencer. So yeah, anything with weapon skill damage, weapon skill accuracy, these are the things that you're going to want to have on your weapon skill chart. And if you were to do specific weapon skills, then you actually would make the Lua file use this equip set, but actually do a set combine. The command would be set combine, and then it would be the name, like sets.weaponskill.savageblade, and then a comma, and then like the rest of the code is going to be in these curly brackets. So you would say like the belt equals, actually it would be waist. Waist equals metal slinger belt. Yeah, metal slinger belt, and then a comma. But you don't need it unless you're putting something else like the back or whatever. And that will be basically the only thing you really do. So every one of your weapon skills is going to be like, if I'm using this weapon skill, set combine my weapon skill template, and then whatever modifications I'm making to it. Right? So depending on what it is or what the mods are, you might actually make those changes. Okay, so that's basically weapon skills in a nutshell. So every weapon skill, more or less, is only going to have one or two pieces changed, but for the most part, it's going to be your regular weapon skill list. So everything that's got some sort of weapon skill modification, or TP bonus would be nice too. If you could find stuff that is TP bonus, then do that. Well, damage, of course. Now, I do need the ammo from Omen that gives me the weapon skill accuracy or whatever on it, so that is still in the mix. We will get that sooner or later, because I do enough Omen to basically kill a horse. Okay, so that is weapon skills, and we will move down the list to other stuff, not weapon skills, because yes, I am Rune Fencer, yes, I have a great sword that likes to spam weapon skill damage, but that's not all there is to the job. So let's look at some other sets. This will be my fast cast set. Right? So this lowers my HP by a lot. So if I am spamming while tanking, you have to make note of your HP value being changed when you put a set like this on. I might actually go back and look at the actual fast cast that I've put together and make the changes that I need to actually include more HP in some of these slots. I feel like this is not really the best fast cast set to actually put together. Evasion's really not, it's meh, it's whatever. So I will get this set up to speed, but if you wanted an idea of what to change on your fast cast set, know that quick magic is pretty strong in general. So if you have quick magic, then you would want to use that. If not, fast cast plus would be really good. Magic evasion and evasion, if you don't have any sort of fast cast augmentation in those slots, which I do, I could put on some different stuff like etiolation and that also comes with HP, so if I'm blinking in and out of a fast cast set in between spells, then HP plus on the fast cast set is really strong, so you could do something like that. You don't have the HP piece for the ammo, but you could do something like just more fast cast in general. But the way I had it originally was probably, I put a lot of thought into it, so let's probably leave it the way it is, and then maybe make changes later after having thought it through really well. So this is kind of a hybrid set, you would imagine, because I don't have all the fast cast pieces on all the slots. Like this could be a Volt Surge Torque right here. But you don't cast a lot of spells on Rune Fencer, so you have to really consider how much fast cast you really need on the job. You probably don't need a lot of fast cast on the job. Your spells would mostly be flash, to be honest. Like, you probably don't cast too many more spells other than flash. I would even argue you probably don't cast Phalanx, because if you're like me, you have Koru Moru giving you a Phalanx too anyway, so you don't even need a Phalanx. So in that case, even though it's a slower spell to cast, you don't really need the fast cast for it, because you're rarely using it, right? So you probably buff all the way up at the beginning of the fight and then not buff again at all. So fast cast on Rune Fencer is kind of a joke in that case. So my fast cast set kind of looks the part. It's a bit of a joke. I will say that if you have the Teon armor, you could probably get away with doing something like this with the fast cast +5 on top of a +4, giving you a +9 body. That's not bad, guys. That's almost 10, and that's about basically the highest value you will see in any slot at all at level 119 is 10. So if you can put something like that together, that would be good. Ambuscade Cape with HP and fast cast, just like you saw on my Paladin. If you watched that video, I have a fast cast and an HP Ambuscade Cape. You could build that on Rune Fencer, and then there you go. That would basically be your bread and butter for your fast cast set on Rune Fencer. Other than that, try to keep the HP value up. 2200 is not acceptable, not at all. So you want to get higher than that. So this set will need some work, but it's basically a hybrid set right now, and it has not let me down, mainly because I only use it to cast 1 or 2 spells very rarely, so I don't hardly ever use it. So we will not speak too much about the set, just know that it is there, and you do need to keep it up to date if you're going to keep using it. And by up to date, I mean stacking more and more HP and not really giving a fuck about fast cast gear whatsoever, right? So let's look at the next set on the list. This will be our midcast. We've gotten into our midcast section, and this is where all of the juice really happens, okay? In the midcast set, essentially what it does is it takes the fast cast set off and puts on a set that will help you augment your potency on whatever it is that you're trying to augment. So in this case, I'm doing a cure set, so whenever I cast a cure spell, if I do have a cure spell, let's say I'm subbing red mage or white mage and I have cure magic, then I will use this set. It puts cure potency stuff on, it puts magic skill plus stuff on, and it probably should put Stikini rings on wherever they are, but it doesn't for whatever reason, so maybe I just haven't made that tweak. But you could put the Stikini earrings on for the spell potency. I do think that the HP is really important, so maybe not use the Stikini rings on a tank. Maybe use the HP rings on a tank instead and just suck it up. But for the most part, this is not really a very intense gear set. I will say that if you have options like Scowie Boots, then you're perfect, because this is an HP piece and it is a cure potency piece, so, and it's got a lot of other things going for it too. So gear like this is stuff you're going to probably want to macro into your midcast when it's applicable. Another example would be the Solemnity Cape. Really good for a cure set, guys. So you've got options. Definitely have options to move between. So we won't speak too much about it, but just know that it needs to basically all be cure potency plus on it and HP plus. Next set we're going to talk about is going to be our Phalanx set. Our Phalanx set is going to probably not do a whole lot. Matter of fact, I don't think it actually made any changes, but it is in my Lua file, and it does have a couple of pieces of gear that get macroed in. I don't know which ones, but something gets in there. And that's it for the phalanx set, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I could look at the Lua really quick, but I don't have it pulled up at the moment, so I'm just looking at my notes. Phalanx is a really good spell, but again, this is a spell that actually doesn't really get cast on you unless you do it yourself with an embolden, and that would be nice. And I'm sure there are JSEs that actually augment your phalanx, but for the most part, you're going to be riding your phalanx 2 from your red mage trust, so you're really not going to ever be casting phalanx. So my phalanx is probably not up to date on this chart, but it's there. The Rune Fencer Lua is a work in progress, but it is finished. It's a finished product. It does work, but there are things that I could tweak to make better, and there are probably pieces of gear out there for Rune Fencer that adds phalanx plus on it, and I just don't have them. So we'll move on to the next set. Most of this mid-cast stuff is probably not going to be super important once you have your Lionheart anyway, right? Let's look at the Divine set. Did I type that right? I typed it right. Okay, so the Divine set's really not making any changes either, it looks like. Probably actually puts this on. Because I think, no, this doesn't have Divine skill on it. It has enhancing and healing. Okay, well, you don't really have that many Divine spells. You have Flash, but that's not ever really going to get resisted anyway. Repose, I think, is a Divine spell too, but I'm subbing White Mage at the moment, which is why I have that. But for the most part, you have a very narrow window on your spells. So again, for this set, I really don't want to talk too much about it, but you can actually put in, if you have the Lua written, you can actually change your Divine set out for a couple of pieces of Divine Plus gear that you find. I would probably be looking mostly at Encanter's Torque, and I'd probably be looking at these Stakini rings right here, and if you can find any other Divine stuff, then you put it on. But for the most part, you're not really going to need a set like this, so let's go ahead and talk about another set that you probably also don't need. So let's look at the Magic Attack set. This is basically going to have Magic Attack bonus on it, because there are things that you do on Rune Fencer that require Magic Attack. I think Lunge is a Magic Attack, and there are Lunge gear too that you could get with your JSE, but I don't have them. But mostly everything that you're going to see here is going to be some sort of Magic Attack bonus, and for a Rune Fencer, I'm surprised that I have so much of it, but you do get quite a bit of Magic Attack bonus gear on Paladin and Rune Fencer, and every job in the game really. Magic Attack is a real easy set to build right now, so you just keep that in mind. You can just build up. I could probably double up on the Shiva rings, but I only have one of them right now, so this could probably be changed to a Magic Attack piece if I have one. Yeah, there's one right here, Herculean Helm. So I'm not sure what else I need to change on this set, but it's got a good amount of Magic Attack on it so far, so I like it. If I want a Magic Burst, I have that option. If I want to lunge and deal some extra magic damage, then I have that option. I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I'm pretty sure lunge does scale with Magic Attack, and lunge potency plus gear, which I think the JSE has. And that's it for the Magic Attack set, guys. This is the same kind of set I would use on Thief, actually, because a lot of the same gear is on Thief and Corsair. So I already have it since I played those other jobs. So here it is. It's just kind of a copy-paste right onto the Rune Fencer. Let's look at the enhancing set. That's actually pretty relevant on this job. So as you can see, we are putting on some enhancing gear. This is magic accuracy, which doesn't really help so much in your enhancing set, but it does have haste on it, which is relevant. Not quite on a mid-cast set, but in general, having haste is not a bad idea, ever, while you're casting spells, especially if you don't have a fast cast set to begin with. You would just use this. For the legs, though, you actually do have an enhancing plus 18 on these legs, so this is why I use this. And to be totally honest, at level 99 with 119 gear, you need very little skill up gear to actually cap out your skill up. You are given, and I'm going to say this really clearly, you are given more gear than you know what to do with on all of this, on every category in the game. Enhancing, enfeebling, whatever it is, you can actually raise your skill level to a value that is unnecessary, okay? I'll say it again, you can raise your skill level to a value that is unnecessarily high. You don't need all of this gear. But the reason why you want to get all of it, and pay very close attention to this next statement, is so when you're creating your equip sets, you can actually make changes without sacrificing. Okay, so if I notice that I have enough skill in whatever, I can take this Encanter's Torque off and put an HP piece here and have less of an HP dip when I actually use this. That is exactly the reason why you have so much gear, and more than you know what to do with, because you're not ever really equipping all of it at the same time, okay? So just pay very close attention to that. So magic accuracy isn't super relevant on a set like this, but anything that says magic skills will be good. Anything that says enhancing magic skill will be good. And if you have something that is like a particular protect plus or whatever, then you put that on if you're casting a protect spell or whatever it is. So there are a lot more pieces of gear than that will be shown in this video, but know that that's basically the premise on an equip set that does this sort of thing. Let's look at the enfeebling set. I think I have some pretty good enfeebling stuff too, which I don't really need on Rune Fencer, but I have it. Yep, of course. So this, it's a really low HP value set, so I would very rarely use it, and if I wanted to use it, I would probably do a set combined with some HP gear to actually compensate for the fact that it puts such a dip in my HP when I put this set on. So basically everything is going to be magic accuracy. It's going to look quite similar since most of the magic accuracy best in slot pieces are mostly all jobs. So we've got a lot of magic accuracy on the set. It looks like it's not changing all of the pieces when I put this set on, because I could put this magic accuracy body armor on instead and have a little bit more magic accuracy. So I could take a look at it and maybe make some changes, but for the most part, you're putting in a lot of all job stuff if you can, and trying to keep your HP value up as much as you can. And that will be your enfeebling set. Now, Scowy Boots does have enfeebling magic skills, so you obviously want to have those on if you own these. It's dropped from Albumin, so it's going to be hard to get, because that guy is level 150, and he doesn't get killed that often. Okay, so that's basically it, guys. I could actually make a change with the Era Pendant and put on the Encanter's Torque, but I will make very quite certain that I say this as clear as possible, that I have tested these two pieces of gear, and the Era Pendant, whenever applicable, you would want to use that, which would mean if you have one of those level 99 jobs in the description, you would be using the Era Pendant, because the magic accuracy plus 17 is better than the magic skills plus 10. Period. End of sentence. That's it. So you have these two options. That's it. Okay, Era Pendant's better. Okay? Cry about it, okay? Alright, let's go to the next set. This is going to be our aftercast. Actually, I think we already showed this, so we're pretty much done. I'll show this set. Basically, whenever I cast a spell, I will move into this gear if I'm idling. And that's important because it's got a pretty juicy HP value, and it has a lot of reach into it. So if I were to cast any spell in the game, I would be changing and then putting on this set of gear. Maybe do a refresh. I'm not sure how many pieces will change, if any at all. It looks like my fast cast is not working. So I probably do need to tweak this a little while. But that's it for this video, I think. Oh, there we go. My cure set's working. Let's go back to the HP set. So, idling in this is not a bad choice. There are a lot of options, and it's not a super relevant set. But most of the important sets in this entire video, if you had to ask me, and I'm not a Rune Fencer main, I don't have everything on Rune Fencer, like I said at the beginning, but I have a good amount. If you ask me what my opinion was on what you would want to focus on for Rune Fencer, I would say you need to focus on not so much an idle set, but because, let's be honest, idle sets, they come and go, and they make everyone's looks different, but you really want to focus on an HP set, you want to focus on a TP set, and a damage taken set. That's pretty much it. You might also want to consider focusing on a weapon skill set so you can really push out that damage. But as you can see, I usually am in my TP mode, so I don't even have a lot of tank gear on whenever I actually fight. My default was actually the TP set, and as I toggled into the damage taken set. So my default on this is actually my TP set. So when I would actually engage a target, the first thing that I'm going to do is put on a bunch of TP gear. So anything that has high accuracy, store TP, or multi-hit, I would be using that sort of stuff to actually DPS it. And Church Ring is just all sorts good. I don't know why it's so good, but I love it. So I use it on a lot of sets, probably more than I need to use it on. But that would be your TP set, guys. That is going to probably look the same, if not slightly different, depending on how much accuracy is required. As you master the job, you will require less accuracy because you are given accuracy in the form of gifts as you master your job. So Carbon Koosis probably one day comes off, and I don't need that extra accuracy, so I'll probably go ahead and put like a multi-hit on, and an option would be probably a really good Herculean piece that has some sort of multi-hit on it. Also has accuracy, not bad. So I would be using something like that. It's got store TP on it as well, so it's just perfect for DPS. So mostly your Herculean set would be what I would use for engaged as you get mastered Rune Fencer. The weapon skill set is also going to change, but for the most part, it's just going to focus on those things where you're actually scaling weapon skill damage. Like one or two pieces will change every once in a while, but a few things that will not change for the most part is your Fosha set is still important. You need to focus on that if you don't have it. Your Herculean with weapon skill Augs is still important. You probably want to grab that while you can. And if you're wondering, that 7% is because of the Dark Matter Aug. It's not that I got lucky, but I got lucky with the Dark Matter. So that's why I have that. And this is another 7, I think, on this. Yeah, weapon skill damage 7. So things like this is going to be really what you want to focus on, these pieces right here, and then whenever you get the U2 grip from home, you would be wearing that, and that's almost everything, because then you could get an ambuscade cape with weapon skill damage 10 on it, and that's almost every piece of gear in the entire grid here having some form of weapon skill damage on it. So for body armor, you could consider a Dark Matter Aug, or you could consider some sort of really lucky Herculean Aug. I think you also get Izinga. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, you don't actually get this. So you don't get this 3%. But you could totally get that 3% or even more. I think up to like 9 off of Dark Matter if you have a Herculean body that you would be able to augment in such a way. So that's what I would do. That would get you a weapon skill set. So that's basically everything on Rune Fencer. Once you get the TP set worked out, once you get the weapon skill damage set worked out, at that point, moving forward, it's just baby steps. It's just maybe I want a little bit better cure set. Maybe I want a little bit better such and such. Maybe I need to go farm these reforged pieces to actually get a little bit better on my Valation, or a little bit better on my Batuta, or whatever it is. So these are the things that you would focus on, but coming from somebody who started with almost nothing and built into a Lionheart Rune Fencer, an Aeonic Rune Fencer, that's the pecking order. It's TP, it's HP, it's weapon skill damage, and a decent idle set. But the damage taken stuff, that's a joke on Rune Fencer. It's kind of a joke. Because Rune Fencer's abilities in themselves allow you to have damage taken minus of any element you need. Other than that, if you are fighting as a Rune Fencer, just remember that Rune Fencer only excels in 1v1s. You don't want to fight Kieran with Rune Fencer, because Kieran is going to spawn 4 ads. Those 4 ads are going to kill your Rune Fencer. Unless you have perhaps an Epiolatry, which I don't. But if you had one, then maybe you could take Kieran and his ads on Rune Fencer. But jobs like Paladin would be better for multi-attack fronts. You know what I mean? When like 5 or 6 mobs are coming at you at the same time, then you don't play Rune Fencer. So for the purpose of this video, I'm really making a joke out of the damage taken set, because you don't care about damage taken on Rune Fencer. You care about damage given on Rune Fencer for the most part. At least you should. And as always, thank you for watching my YouTube video. I hope you guys learned something today about Rune Fencer. I hope you guys learned that my Rune Fencer, in comparison to my other jobs, is a flat-out joke. The only really sexy thing I have is this Lionheart, and I only built it because it's the best Aeonic in the game, but the rest of the Rune Fencer is, in my opinion, quite a joke. I'm not a main, I don't play the job that often, but I do like playing it. It is quite a lot of fun to play, and it is a fun job. I would definitely encourage people to A, build Lionheart, and B, play this job for funsies. You can play all the jobs in the game, but this one is one of the most fun. So, if you're into this game and you don't know what you want to play, or if you're bored of playing Paladin to everything, or if you're bored of playing just Thief and Dynamis, did I say Dynamis? Yeah, because who else brings Thief to anything, right? Then give Rune Fencer a try. Pick it up. Play the job. It doesn't matter what your sub job is, but if you have Lionheart, you're probably always subbing Samurai. I will say that. I'm subbing White Mage because I teleported out here, as you saw at the beginning. But that's it for this video, guys. Give it a like or a thumbs up or a dislike if you thought that I was being stupid, but I made this as a request to some of my YouTube fans. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed the video. And give me a comment if you want to see some tutorials in the future, maybe a future Rune Fencer one, maybe a future some other job. You let me know. I'll be happy to actually film for you and let you know what I would be using in different situations on that job. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.